Let's one more question about author resources, and then we'll talk Cape.
Yeah.
'Cause I definitely have some Cape questions for you.
Okay.
But let's talk about Author Of, because I think that's a tremendous resource that anybody listening or watching could go and check out right now. So what is Author Of?
Okay, so I'm just a nosy person. Like when I talk to kids and kids are like, why did you go into writing? Why did you go into newspapers? What's wrong with you? Those little questions kids ask. I think one of the reasons I went into writing, other than being like a total word nerd and liking words and liking stories, was that I was really nosy and kind of, just nosy. Like I think about, what would make a good spy. I was a good eavesdropper. I liked writing notes and being sneaky, so all those things. So when I think about like adding spies to my book, which I'm doing right now on some other projects, just being a nosy kid really helped shape who I am today. So with author,
that plays into your career as a journalist as well, correct?
Yeah, just being nosy. Like, why is that? Why? So, as I started writing, and I try to read tons of other people's stuff, and I think, wow, how did that person come up? Why did they write that? How did they do that research? Because I also, aside from doing middle grade novels, I also do like picture book biographies and some nonfiction picture books. So I'm just curious about people. So I've just decided just to message somebody. I just started a blog just to ask other authors and artists what about their creative process, kind of just like you. Tell me about your creative process. Why did you do this? Why did you want to write about this person? So it just grew out of that big nosy me. And I think it's great. I think kids should be encouraged to be nosy and inquisitive. And that's what learning is all about, right? So Author Of is just me contacting authors, cold calling them basically and saying, if I send you some questions, do you think you could get to them? And they're almost always like, absolutely. So it just kind of grew out of that. So I hope people read it just out of the same curiosity that I have. Like, why did you do that?
Can authors who are listening, who are desperate for promotion, can they reach out to you and
you betcha. Yeah, happy to. I get that all the time, and I'm happy to. So
and you come up with individual questions for every person that you come into contact with?
Yeah, I mean, I try to be familiar with their work and kind of like look into the work and figure, and ask them, specifics about, the characters or the subject they researched or what that was like to track down some of that stuff. So, yeah.
I see. That's where I've gone wrong with this podcast. Is now I have to read everybody's book and do lots of research and have information about them coming in, so I can talk intelligently about who they are. Whereas back at the blog, I ask everybody the same 7 questions. Oh, I'd never had a better idea, because I never got the same answer twice, which is I've always been thrilled and a little bit taken aback that actually worked. I've always felt a little like what's his name? Not Mark Twain, Tom Sawyer, with the picket fence. Oh, what fun it is to whitewash this fence. Would you like to come and write my blog content for me? Oh, wonderful.
No, I know what you mean, though. It's like, hey, I know you're really busy, but here's 5 questions. Could you get to them for me and write them out soon? So it is a little bit like, but I think people are happy to share their story, especially with an audience of other writers, of kindred souls. So.
And because I've been there, I know that there's information about you and links to your books and all that good stuff. And I'm sure that people that come there do go and check you out. And so it's good for promotion that way. But I've got to assume that this is time you're spending. That's kind of one of your ways that you're giving back to the author community. Yeah.
I think so. I mean, I hope so. I hope people find it worthwhile, in the same spirit of, all right, I'm trying to figure out how to do something. If I read about this person's creative process, maybe that's something that'll work for me. I mean, I'm the type of person that, those videos now on how to cook and like the camera's right above the pan and it just shows somebody dumping oil in and dumping in a little garlic and then whoosh. I have to see how it's done. Like I'm one of those learners that I'm just a hot mess, but if I can see how somebody else did it, I can look at that and then mess around and figure out my own trajectory. But I do better, kind of like, I like conferences because I like listening to how other people did it. And I don't, necessarily, their route isn't necessarily what I should be doing, but it's good to see it, try it, and find my own way.
We are kindred spirits. That's exactly what I'm hoping to do. And nobody has given me the answer yet, but lots of people have given me lots of little answers that have really helped out along the way.
Then you find your way. Right. Exactly.
Number one consumer of the blog and this podcast has always been me. Nobody gets more benefit than me. I'm really happy that other people get some benefit. Good for them.
Yeah.
But
I know what you mean. Right. It's like
soaking up the information so I can hopefully be a better writer.
Right. Like, I'm going to ponder this.